What's going on, everyone? This is Sheena, aka Sheenapreneur, your favorite veteran. Today I wanted to talk to you about the 5 easiest government contracts to get into. Now, when I say government contracts, I'm talking about federal and local. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear. This could be on the federal side, this could be on the local side, it could be on both, it could be on either, and we'll get into it right after the intro. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Here on the Sheenapreneur channel, I share information about government contracting, veteran business content, and other business tips. Okay, so with government contracting, of course, I talk about it in depth in the different industries. Of course, you know that I'm in facility support services, aka facility management, aka facility maintenance. So it's not an easier industry, just depending on what you're doing. It could be painting, it could be janitorial, it could be floor repair, all these different things. But today I want to talk about some of the ones that I feel like pretty much anybody could do if they really just like focus on what it is that they're actually doing instead of getting caught up in, how do I do this part? How do I do that part? Like, this is really, these 5 industries are typically pretty easy, and you can start off with what you already have. So number 1 is going to be selling office supplies. So if you have not seen my live that I did with Brent Archie of Archie Supply, he kind of talks about how he got started in government contracting and also how he got started in supplies. So he started off doing something totally different and then just kind of settled on doing office supplies. Now he does multiple types of supplies, but it's really interesting, his story, because he's made multiple $1 million selling pens to the state of, I believe it was North Carolina. So like what, $3 million selling pens to the state of North Carolina. So that's really, really, you know, what someone wouldn't think about when they're thinking about going into government contracting is selling pens. And it's literally that simple, to where there was a need and he provided the need. Now, of course, the logistics and delivery and all that kind of stuff was where the actual pain points were. And I think it was promotional item, meaning there was writing on the pen, like voting for 2020. Now, of course, all those things are going to have some factors, but just generally speaking, at the end of the day, he's selling pens. So, and that's complete respect. I mean, there's no issue with that. He also talked about how he delivered a truckload of paper. So these are all the things that all of us have had contact with. All of us have touched paper. All of us have touched pens. So if you have, I'll say, credit, if you have a line of credit, if you have even personal credit. Now, I know some people say, oh, you need to use other people's money. You may not have access to other people's money. So if you have a large credit card, and you're, at least for right now, while you're getting started, you use that credit card, buy whatever it is, like say $3 million. No, let me not say 3 million, but like whatever the amount is, let's say it's $50,000 worth of paper. Let's just say $10,000 worth of paper, because a lot of us may have a $10,000 credit card. If you've been, you know, in this world for a while, you may have a $10,000 credit card, $5,000 credit card, and you can buy the paper on the credit card. Using personal credit. Yes, there are other ways to do this, but if you're brand new, brand spanking new, and you registered as a vendor for the state, the city, whatever the case may be, and they're looking for $5,000 worth of paper, and the only thing you have access to, your company hasn't made $1, and the only thing you have access to is this personal credit card, best believe, swiping the personal credit card. Like that's period. Like that's how it's going to work. And then you sell, you know, whatever it is, you sell it to the government for your profit. You deliver it, you get paid, usually pretty instantly when it comes to supplies. And then boom, you pay off your credit card. And let's say that it's a card that earns points or earns rewards. Now you paid off this credit card quickly, got the points, and it's the most you ever spent on this card. And so now you've officially delivered your first government contract selling office supplies, pens, paper, printers. It could be anything, you know, pencils or paper clips or sticky notes, anything. So I think that's one of the main things that people can kind of get started if they have credit. If they have a way and access to hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, it's easier to get into office supplies compared to maybe some other type of supplies. The next one is litter pickup. Now that's my personal fave. Litter pickup to me serves several purposes. I feel like it's more like it's a calmer thing. You want to see, you know, I've lived in Kuwait, I've lived in Qatar, and they are very, very, no disrespect, very dirty countries. They're extremely wealthy. So the citizens that are Kuwaiti and Qatari, they don't actually pick up trash personally. So there's foreign nationals that live in those countries that are supposed to pick up the trash. A lot of times they don't. And it was kind of heartbreaking to see where somewhere you live is so filthy and so dirty and that no one cares. I'm talking like buku trash, and they're super filthy with rich. And so with litter pickup, you know, being a part of keeping my country, my state, my city, my county clean is, I appreciate it. And then also it's so much easier. Oh my gosh. This is one of the biggest things. With our first litter contract, we got 2 pending right now, but with our first litter contract, I was able to get people jobs that typically would not be able to get jobs. And that was by far the most important part to me. They got a flexible schedule as long as they took care of, you know, the specific roads in a particular week. They didn't have to worry about clocking in, clocking out. Nobody was on their back. They didn't have to get background checks. They're outside picking up trash, and they loved it. It was like, you know, a match made for everyone, for the agency, for me, because I didn't have to go out there and pick up no trash. Not to say that I wouldn't, but I hire people so I don't have to do that. And then I'm getting people who could not, you know, get past a background check just because whatever past that they had, and I'm able to give them a job, and a handsome job at that. You know, some of them were making $500 a day, you know, doing litter pickup. So it just depends on what the actual litter contract holds. But litter pickup is super easy, typically, unless you have some weird stuff that you have to provide or produce or whatever. But it was, generally speaking, once you get the people and once you get a good system going, it's breezy. And you just CYA, cover your ass to make sure that you take pictures of each of the locations that you clean up. So if there's ever any discrepancies, then you'll have that proof that, we cleaned that yesterday. So, you know, if some trash is there, it's because someone came after our service to do it, and there's really nothing we can do about that. So the next thing is unarmed security. Now, this is something that I just recently looked at. I had a friend of a friend who came to me and was a retired police officer and was like, I want to get, she already does security, but she does it like randomly, like commercial. Someone might know her and say, hey, I need security for this location, that location. So she wanted to get into government contracting. She didn't end up doing the contract that I found for her. But as I was looking for contracts, I'm like, this is essentially a breeze, especially if you already do it, or if you have any unarmed security experience. Literally, this particular one that I found for her was they needed 2 unarmed security guards to patrol a library. I don't know what was going on with that library, but they just needed 2 guards there. And I don't know the reason, but really that doesn't matter, because if they're unarmed, then it should be like low risk. It's not like security at maybe, you know, high level security, and then even security at a bank still has a gun. So if it's unarmed security, it's just to make sure that no riffraff, I guess, are gonna, you know, tear up the place or vandalize, or a whole bunch of teenagers in one place, or whatever the case may be. And so it made me look at unarmed security like this might actually be super simple for someone to start. And of course, the main thing that you may need to look at is background checks, which if you're already if you want to get into security, or you're looking at, you know, getting into security, then it goes without saying you probably have to do background checks. But it was very low level. This particular opportunity that I found, and I should have just bid on it myself for real, but that particular one was like 5-6 pages, and most of those pages were just like the collusion document, which is like, do you have anybody that works in this city that is giving you a leg up, and just the regular formalities, but everything was just super breezy. So unarmed security is a really, really good field to get into if you're just starting. To me, very easy. Of course, always read the contract. And this particular one for unarmed security was a local contract. It was not federal. So federal typically is going to be like gate guards overseas and stuff like that, or, you know, something that's going to be higher level, but you might still be interested in that, and that's still cool, but it's an easier thing to get into. The next thing would be consulting. Now, I almost didn't want to say this one because people look at consulting kind of like the middleman strategy, but consulting, if you already have the knowledge of something, that's consulting. So for example, I've seen consulting for every single industry. I've seen real estate consulting, appraisal consulting, IT consulting, whatever. Fill in your own industry, add consulting. And what that is typically is like the agency is going to pay you to tell them what they need for that particular thing. For example, let's use information technology. So I actually, of course, for those who don't know, retired Army, I was a signal warrant officer, which means I was in information technology for 20 years. Didn't like it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. But anyway, there's a certification called ITIL, which is Information Technology Infrastructure Library. I know that was a mouthful, but basically that means it's like a consulting certification to tell an agency, I see this, this is what you need. And here's where you need to put it. So if I walk into your building and I have an ITIL certification, this framework, and I'm trying to tell you how to build a help desk, then I'm going to say, you need a help desk over here for this reason. You need to hire this many people. They need to have these certifications. They need, this level of training, blah, 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 blah. I'm giving you all the details of what you would need to set up a fully functioning help desk. Same thing with real estate. I've seen real estate consulting where they don't know if they need to sell. They don't know if they need appraisals. They don't know if, the details of how to find and how to list certain government-owned properties. And they may hire you as that real estate agent or that real estate broker, but first they need a consultation because they don't know what they need. And so consulting, if you already have the knowledge, can go into anything you're doing with government contracting. If they had a facility support services consulting job, your girl gonna be on it because I can tell you, okay, you need HVAC, you need floor repair, you need da-da-da-da-da. Here's all the people that you would need to hire. Give me my money. Give me my, here's the invoice. Give me my money. And so that's kind of how consulting works. It's not middleman strategy. It's basically using your knowledge or the knowledge you're gonna gain in order to give to the agency because the agency doesn't know what to do. So just to be clear, that's what consulting is. And I think that's a really easy thing to get into because basically no overhead. I actually have an associate who does, and I actually posted his video on my channel, Oliver Queen, and he's a consultant, basically self-employed millionaire who consults the government on government contracts. It's so crazy because he did it in the Navy. And so now he just tells the government, nope, you need to do this. Nope, you need to do that. That contract is written wrong. And he works for multiple agencies and makes a whole buku amount of money. I'm like, I'm in the wrong business. But essentially, that's what consulting consists of. The next thing is one of my favorites too. It's probably number 2 to litter pickup, and that's pressure washing. Pressure washing is great because I feel like there's an appreciation compared to janitorial because I feel like everyone feels like they're a janitor. Everyone feels like they know what clean is, and it's so subjective that even if if something is disgusting, filthy, dirty, and you clean it and there's like a one speck, they say it's filthy and you didn't do any work. And so that's like a frustrating place to be in when you're actually a cleaner. But pressure washing is usually like before and after. And so the after, unless you really just didn't try or you really didn't put forth the effort or you didn't have the right equipment, it's not going to look as good. But usually if you have the right equipment, and I'm talking industrial equipment, like huge industrial equipment, like where you have pressure washing machine on the back of a van or a truck. Not the thing that you get from Home Depot. Because like when I did the video with JT and I was telling people you can make $40,000 a day doing pressure washing and people are like, oh, that's cap. That's not true. I'm like, well, I'm not talking about the little handheld joint. I'm talking about the one that's on the back of a truck that needs to be hooked up to a building. And if you have enough people and enough hoses, you can do that in one day. Like that's normal. Like that's not a weird thing. That's so normal. But if you're not in pressure washing, you wouldn't know that. Or if you haven't operated at that level, usually a before and after. It goes from ugly to beautiful, and people usually appreciate it. And again, it's like, look how I feel like my company restored the building, and it's very lucrative. It's very profitable. And even if you have a sub, I haven't physically pressure washed at that level at all. All of my work with pressure washing is through a subcontractor, and it's still profitable for me. And look, I'll take the lesser of the profit if that means I don't have to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing but send an invoice. That's it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to go to a site visit. I don't want to do whatever. And sometimes I do have to do that. But here in Atlanta, when we do our pressure washing contracts, because we do a lot with, the school system, I have a person that does that for me. He's my sub. We are like, you know, we know how this whole process works. And so I don't have to do anything. I don't even think I send an invoice. I think my program manager sends an invoice because we got a system going. But anyway, pressure washing is really simple if you can buy the right equipment. That's the main thing, because one of the schools we went to, the facilities maintenance people that work there, like the janitors that actually worked in the school, they were doing pressure washing with the little handheld joint. And if you've ever used a pressure washer handheld, like the smaller ones, they kind of like zigzag. They don't really, unless you hold it completely straight, it doesn't come out the way you want to. And you have to go over it multiple times. You get frustrated, and they kind of like stopped halfway. They laughed at themselves, so I can laugh too. But you need like industrial equipment, and it may cost you a few thousand. And if you have, again, you got credit or you have a way to get that equipment, and maybe get some people. Again, this is another industry where you usually don't have to do background checks. We've had to do it. Well, we had to do it for window cleaning one time. But if you have people that may not be able to pass background checks, but they're cleaning the outside, so typically there's not going to be any issues with that. And usually people love it. I mean, the people that are receiving the service love it. The people performing the work love it. And then me being the prime, you know what I'm saying, getting to work, I love it too. And it's very profitable. So pressure washing is also something that people don't really talk about that much, but I love it. I think it's a great industry to get into. For me, it's very, very satisfying. So I always watch our videos. When our subs send the videos and the pictures, I'm like, ooh, so nice. I wanted to talk to you about the 5 easiest industries to get into in 2024. Always do your own research based on the city and the state that you live in. One of the things that I noticed with pressure washing, I'll say, for example, they have like a water tax when you're performing services in that city. So we bid on a contract for housing, like a housing development. And one of the questions when we were going through the bidding process that someone else asked that I never thought to ask was, how do we do the water? Like, are we connected it to the building that we are pressure washing? And they told us you have to have your own water source. Hence why you need an industrial size truck or van that has its own water source sometimes, or sometimes you can use the water of the facility. Now, if you're cleaning a very, very large area, it's going to be it's going to be a lot of water, and they may not want you to do that. Or if you don't tell them that you're doing that, you may get charged. So that's one of the things to just kind of be careful when it comes to pressure washing is the water source. Where's the water source coming from? And that, again, that particular location, they told all of us that if we did use their water, they were going to charge extra. And basically that was going to be like all the profit. It was some ridiculous number. So just wanted to give you those 5 easy things to get started in 2024. Again, I have my course that teaches you how to start your business, federal contracting, local contracting, corporate contracting. I have something for my veterans. All the things that I've experienced, I just dump it into this course. And I want to try to save you all from some of the pain that I've gone through, some of the pain that my comrades have gone through in government contracting and in business in general. So also I have the GovCon Moneymakers group. I always leave the link in the description, and it's absolutely free to join. We share information, we share our wins. We make connections in the group. Again, it's 100% free to join. Make sure you sign up for that. And please, please, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe and share this video. It really helps with the algorithm. It really helps your girl be able to stay on here and provide all this detailed information for you. I'm all about sharing and caring because I want you guys to win contracts. That's on period. I want y'all to win contracts. That's my main objective. I can sell as many courses as I want, but if you all are not winning contracts, it's a waste of time for me. I mean, I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. So share this video, like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead, and I've never done this before, but go ahead and drop in the comments of a topic you want me to talk about next. You know, I start to kind of run out of ideas because I feel like some of this stuff might be a little redundant, but whatever you want me to talk about, just go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and I may talk about it on the next video. I'm breaking down my stuff a little bit easier because I was kind of starting at the scaling level and above, but I know I need to go down to the elementary level of people that are just starting, which is no problem because I know how it was when I first started. So I'm all about sharing and caring with you all. So like, comment, subscribe, share, leave a comment below of what topic you want me to talk about next. So until next time, it's your favorite veteran. Hey, GovCon moneymakers, schedule a consultation now and get the cost of the consultation discounted from the GovConNOW course and mentorship. Start today and change the trajectory of your life in a few short months. Happy contracting!